So observe very carefully. This is the one of the important technique which we are going to study under the separation of again. Till now, whatever the techniques we studied, like obtaining copper sulfate from impure samples, crystallization, that is what purification by crystallization. Next one, obtaining the ink from the dyes. Next, ink color from the dyes. Next, separation of cream from a milk. These are all lot of techniques we studied. Separation by centrifugation. That is what next. Supply of drinking water, city water separation. That is all we studied by filtration techniques and all. This all will come under what, guys? Anybody can tell me? Will come under what? Totally. Separation of mixture of a solid and a liquid. Is it yes or no? Everyone? Separation of a mixture of a solid and a liquid. These are the techniques we studied. That is only filtration, centrifugation, evaporation, crystallization, and as well as what? Everybody? Chromatography. Yes or no? Nobody will answer. Yes, please. So separation of mixture of a solid and a liquid, we have been using these many techniques, and the last technique, that is what we are using, separating a solid from a liquid. That is what the sixth technique is only we used to called as. What is the technique called as? Everybody?
Distillation.
Distillation. Now, filtration, centrifugation, evaporation, crystallization, and chromatography. Do you all clear or not? Any doubt in that? Mr. Reddy? No response at all. Kaushik? Oh, so you all please study that once again. Anything doubt, ask me. So you have to revise. So hope Hari, Yura, you Mitakshri?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the last separation technique, this is the separation techniques we will use it for separation of mixture of a solid and a liquid. Now that is what it is, a distillation. Now if it comes to the distillation technique, so basically distillation is the process separation technique which we can use when all the substances, if we'll take, when we obtain the salt from, suppose, salt water mixture, then we can use basically which technique, guys? Basically, can you tell me? Basically, which technique we'll use? Salt from seawater. What is the techniques we can use? Anybody? I want
evaporation and crystallization, sir.
Salt from seawater. Salt from seawater. So what is the techniques we can use, guys? See, salt is a solid. Solid in a liquid. So we'll use all these 6 techniques. Yes or no, Hari? So in that salt from seawater, so we'll use, already we studied some techniques. What is the techniques? Anybody can tell me? One is evaporation and another one is what?
Crystallization.
Crystallization. Now, if we'll take evaporation process, we will get impurities also. Is it yes or no? Yes, please. So that is why we'll go with a technique called as what? Crystallization, where we will get pure crystals. Yes, please, all of you. Pure solid crystals will come. So that is why people will go with the evaporation or crystallization. Yes, please, all of you. Now, if you notice it very carefully, evaporation and as well as crystallization will be having some disadvantage. Anybody can tell me the disadvantage? Akilan, Arun Kailash? Yes, please try to answer. Can I ask the question? Anybody? Now, is it possible to collect the water which is converted into gaseous state? See, observe. Evaporation and crystallization, both the things, what we people are doing, guys? We are evaporating the water. Yes or no? Nobody will say.
Yes, sir.
Evaporating of water. But is it this water is again we are recollecting or we are converting into gaseous state? That is what my question. Anybody?
It's converting into gaseous state, sir.
State. We are not getting back this water. Whatever the water we are converting into gaseous state, we are not getting back in this normal process by evaporation or by whatever it is the crystallization. Now, that is why if you want to get the water as well as salt, both, then we have to go with which technique? What is the technique we have to go, guys?
Distillation.
Yes, please. That is what distillation. Do you understand, all of you? So, in order to recover both salt as well as water from a salt water mixture or salt solution, then which process we have to use, Mitakshri? We have to use the
Distillation.
distillation process. So, by using evaporation, we cannot be recovered water. Remember, all of you. So, a salt from salt water mixture, by evaporation, only we can obtain the salt, but we cannot be recovered water during evaporation. Understand, all of you? So, only salt can be obtained. So, what cannot be obtained? What cannot be obtained? Cannot be obtained what? Water
Water.
by evaporation. So that is why if you want to obtain both, right, in order to recover both salt as well as water, in order to recover both salt and water, salt and water from a salt water mixture, from a salt water mixture, or we can say what? Mixture also we can say it is what? Solution. Understanding? Solution. So what process we have to use? What process we use?
Distillation.
Distillation. The process of distillation is used. Kaushik, understand, Ra? Importance of distillation? The process of distillation. Distillation is used. Is it okay, Akilan, Mitakshri? That is what it is. So, that is why you can see distillation is the process of heating and as well as cooling to get back the liquid. That is what the importance. For example, if we'll take evaporation. What do you mean by evaporation? Anybody can tell me? What do you mean by evaporation? Converting? What do you mean by evaporation, guys?
Water
Converting
into gas.
liquid state into
Gases.
Gaseous state.
so that is why it is not all getting back. We cannot get the water back. Yes or no? Everybody cannot get water back. But if we take distillation, so distillation is what? We are getting the both. So means in the sense of what? First we are evaporating, again we are condensing back. So if you are condensing back means what is that process called as? Condensing back, condensation, or we can say cooling. Nobody is opening the mouth. The first chapter, then what you are remembering? Worstly behaving, I don't know what the people will do. So that is what it is. So distillation is the process where we can use heating a liquid to form vapor and as well as cooling the vapor to get back liquid. That is why we can say distillation is the technique, we can say liquid to vapor by heating and vapor to liquid by cooling. So that is what distillation. That is why we can use distillation to get both the products. That is what salt plus water. So liquid to gas. Is it by heating or cooling? Everybody?
Heating.
Heating. So evaporation only heating. So it will form the gas. Now reverse process. So that is what again we have to obtain the liquid also. So what process it is? Condensation.
Cooling.
What cooling? So cooling we used to get back the liquid or we can say vapor. So please remember. So that is the difference between evaporation and distillation. Is it okay, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, observe very carefully. Converting gas into liquid. What is the process called as? Converting gas into liquid. First chapter we studied. Condensation. What is the process called as? Everybody, please respond.
Condensation.
Condensation. Now, like that, whatever the liquid we are obtaining by condensation of gases in this distillation process. In which process? Distillation process. That liquid vapors is called as distillate. What we used to call? Everybody? What we used to call? Distillate. The liquid obtained by condensing the vapor is called as distillate. So please remember. Have you understand what is the difference between evaporation and distillation? Mitakshri? Akila?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, what is distillate? What is distillate, everybody? Distillate. What is distillate? Nobody will answer.
The liquid obtained,
The liquid obtained by condensing the vapor. The liquid obtained by condensing the vapor. Condensing the vapor is called distillate. Is called distillate. So future, this technique is very, very important. Of course, even nowadays, medical departments and all, so many medical units and all, this distillation is a common technique. Okay. So now you can see, this is what is distillation. So now you can see the distillation means we can first vapor and again condense back into liquids. That is what it is. At a time heating, at a time cooling also will take place. So now you can see, in order to obtain both solid as well as liquid from the mixture of a solid and a liquid, the process of distillation has to be used. So distillation we can use for what technique, everybody? What is the distillation we can use? In order to obtain solid and as well as what? Solid and liquid. Both if you want to obtain, then we need to go with the which technique, everybody? We need to go with the distillation technique. Understand? So when the homogeneous mixture of solid and a liquid is heated in a closed distillation flask, then the liquid and being volatile, they'll form vapor. Then the vapors of liquid are passed through a condenser. What do you mean by condenser? Anybody can tell me? Condenser. What do you mean by condenser? Cooling or heating, at least, can you tell me that? Cooling or heating, condenser.
Cooling, sir.
Cooling. So, whatever it is, observe very carefully. I already taught you the nature of volatile. What do you mean by volatile?
which can form easily vapor.
Yes, please. All of you should answer. What do you mean by volatile? Everybody? Volatile means easily can change into what state? Easily can change into what state? Change into gaseous state. Understand, Reddy? Nothing is opening mouth itself. Don't Arun Kailash, I don't know how I will kick you. Simply sitting, always, nothing studying. So volatile means easily can change into gaseous state. That is what we used to call as volatile. What we used to call? Easily can change into gaseous state is called as volatile. Now, in this distillation technique also the same thing, we'll be having a substances like called as distillation flask, and whatever the liquid is present, it will be evaporate first and it will be coming back so into the condenser. So then where the condenser will condense the pure liquid, then the pure liquid is collected in a separate vessel. So that is what we used to call as distillation technique. Now we can use this distillation not only for separating solid in a liquid, also we can use two liquids is dissolved, two liquids is mixed each other. So if you want to separate them, then also we can use this distillation technique. But if you want to separate liquid in a liquid, we can use distillation technique. But one liquid must be volatile and another liquid must be what, Hari? Non-volatile. Do you understand, everyone? Means one must be converting into gas easily and another one should not be converting into gas easily. Do you understand, Amma? Vitakshri?
Yes.
Divya? So we can use it solid in a liquid, we can use
Yes,
it
sir.
be called as distillation. Also we can use liquid in a liquid, also we can use. But In that liquid in a liquid, one liquid must be what? One liquid must be what, guys? One liquid must be volatile in nature, and another liquid must be non-volatile in nature. Means not easily convert into what? Convert into gas. But this one easily convert into gaseous state. That is what you have to remember. Okay, everybody. So before we describe the process of distillation, we need to know meaning of condenser. Remember, condenser means, I will say you how it will be present, what will be present. So condenser means it's like a outer tube having one inner tube. Understand, all of you? See, a condenser means a condenser will be like this. So you'll be having a one inner tube first, like our cycle tube. So this is what inner tube, all of you observe. So the fumes which are passing through that, only the fumes will pass us through this. Understand, Hari? The fumes will pass us through this. This is what gas. Now outside it will be having a one separate tube. It will be like you can say only the water will pass us through the condenser. This is what we used to call as condenser. Understand, Mitakshri? Gokul? You can see here inside inner tube what will pass? Gas will pass. Inner tube what will pass? Gas will pass. Now outer tube, water will enter. So this water will pass us through the outer tube and it will be coming outside here. Now, whenever this cool water will come in contact with that hot gas, understand, not directly, inside one pipe is there. So the heat will absorb by the gas, the gas heat is absorbed by the liquid or not? Everybody? Yes, sir? The heat exchange will take place so that the cool water will absorb the heat energy from the gas and it will be coming outside here. And once the heat is taken, the gas will be converting into what state? The gas will be converting into what state? Cooling. It will be converting into liquid state. So the liquid is collected here. The gaseous vapors will be condensed and it will be collected liquid. So this collected liquid is only what we used to call? Distillate. Understand? So that is what it is. So this is only we used to call it as condenser. Understand? Condenser having one inner tube where the gas fumes will pass, so that outer side will pass the coolant, that is what water, so that this water will come in contact with the surface of this inner tube, so that it will absorb the heat energy and will coming outside. So once the heat energy is taken away from the gases will condense and it will be collected in this tube. Do you understand, all of you? So this is only we used to call it as water condenser. What we used to call, Hari?
Water condenser.
Water condenser. All of you understand? Or we can say water condenser. Also we people call with another name. That is what we used to call it as Liebig condenser. What we used to call? Liebig. Liebig. Liebig condenser. This is only we used to call it as both the names. If people don't know, you can note it down. Understand, Ma? Hari, Arun Kailash, Akilan. This is what Liebig condenser, or we can say water condenser. So, hope you all understand. So, whatever the liquid will evaporate will pass through this condenser. So, this condenser will cool the liquid, will cool the gas, and will collect that liquid in a separate beaker. So, that liquid which we collected only what we used to call? Distillate. So that is what you have to remember. So this is how it will be happening. Now we will see to separate the salt water mixture or salt solution, how we people can use the distillation technique. Shall we use now? So we can use the distillation technique for what purpose? Two purpose: separating solid in a
Liquid.
Solid in a liquid, and as well as liquid in a liquid. But in this liquid in a liquid, what is that? One liquid must be
Volatile.
one liquid volatile, and another liquid must be what? Gokul? Non-volatile. That is what it is. So this distillation process also we can call it as simple distillation. This is also very important. This distillation also we can call it as what? simple distillation. Okay, so please remember. So this is what it is, because fractional distillation is another thing. That is why I'm saying you this. So this is only called as simple distillation. Okay, so this is what it is. Now let us discuss. We are going to separate. We will use now to separate the salt water mixture. To separate the salt water mixture or salt solution. To separate salt water solution. So let's start now. How it will be happening? So observe very carefully. So to separate salt water solution means what? Liquid in liquid or solid in a liquid? Liquid in liquid, solid in a liquid, guys. Yes, please.
Solid in
Solid in a liquid. Understand? So that is what it is. Now observe very carefully how it will be. Your textbook also will be having the picture. So that is what separation. So if distillation, we are having a different kind of instruments like distillation flask and as well as condenser. What is the water condenser name called as? Just now you studied.
Liebig
Condenser. Okay. So this is what the separation technique, which used to, even we can set up in our laboratory also. Actually, we used to work in this distillation also. So this is what a simple distillation. Simple distillation, also we can say distillation. Now, what we people need to do means, we have to take the salt and water mixture. You might be see, I have taken, this is what we used to call as distillation flask. What we used to call this one? Ready? This one we used to call as distillation flask. Understand? So now this distillation flask, you can see, I have taken what now? First, everybody, what we have to take? We have to take the salt and water mixture. That is only we used to call as, what solution it is called as? Salt solution. Understand, everybody? So what is this name called as? This beaker. What is this name beaker called as? Everybody? Distillation flask. Understand? So I have to fill the salt solution inside this distillation flask, and I have to close this opening with a rubber cork, and I have to fix the thermometer. What is the importance of thermometer? Anybody can tell me? Let me see who will guess. What is the importance of thermometer? Yes, please. Yes, please. What is the importance of thermometer?
Check the temperature.
Yes. At what temperature the liquid is evaporating? We have to know or not? Yes, please. All of you. Nobody will answer. Yes, sir. So that is what we have to fix the thermometer also to see the boiling point of given liquid. Are you understand, everybody? Yes, please. So that is why you can see we have to set up the thermometer at the top of the distillation flask with the help of rubber cork. What is the importance of rubber cork here? I have kept here rubber cork. Anybody can tell me? What is the importance of this?
The vapor won't escape.
Yes, vapors cannot be escaped. That is the importance. Now, and I have arranged a tube called as, you can see, what is this condenser? Have you noticed it? This is only we used to call as water condenser. So water condenser, as I told you, inside will be having one tube and outside will be having another kind of tube where the water can circulate and it can go. Now, whenever I am started heating, you can see with the help of burner, whenever I am started heating, so what will happen? Who will evaporate? Water vapor. Who will evaporate? Water vapor. Also we can say steam. So steam is evaporating or not? Can you able to see the fumes here? All of you? Yes, please. So these fumes will evaporate and you can see then at what temperature is evaporating also we can see that. What is the temperature? Basically water. What is the water boiling point?
100
degrees.
Yeah. Boiling point of water. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees. Now, these 100 degrees, the water vapor or steam will enter into this condenser. So, the condenser, what is the importance of condenser? What is the importance? It will condense. Condense means by decreasing temperature or by increasing temperature?
Decreasing temperature.
By cooling process. That is what the principle of condenser. So, Distillation will evaporate the liquid and it will converting into gas, and condenser it will condense back by cooling. You can see water in from tap, it is passing through this and will circulate and it will come out, water out to sink. Now here the liquid, the gas which is passing through the inner tube, it will lose its heat energy. It will lose its heat energy whenever the outside liquid is coming contact, so that the temperature will fall. So it will be condensed back into liquid. So that condensed back into liquid will collect in the beaker. So that is only we used to called as what water it is. It is called as, what is that called as?
Distillate.
It is called as pure water. So that is what the pure water or distilled water is made from tap water by the process of what process? By the process of distillation only. So the pure water which you are obtaining here is called as distilled water. What is to call, Mitakshri? Distilled water. Understand? So distilled water, is it the distilled water contain any impurities? Impurities means minerals and all. Minerals and all. Anybody?
No, sir.
No. So distilled water does not contain any minerals and etc. which is required for our body. So that is why it is not preferred to drink the distilled water. If you drink the distilled water, then it will cause us, if you are continuously taking the distilled water, it will lead to even death also. Do you understand, all of you? Because it does not contain required minerals for our body. So that is why we are not supposed to take the distilled water. Do you understand? Distilled water means pure water. Only water is available. None the things is which is necessary for our body is available in this. So that is why you are not supposed to consume the distilled water. Only for experiments alone, we people will use this distilled water. Puriyama, everybody? Yes, but these distilled water, you can see, there are many coastal areas where drinking water is not available in adequate quantity. For example, if you take our Chennai city, have you noticed it, everybody? Chennai city? Yes or no? So our Chennai city also extremely draft during summer. Yes or no, guys? No water is available. Yes or no? So even during the before government, you can tell Jayalalithamma government and all, they have been arranged the distillation plants where we can obtain the pure water from ocean, and later they will add minerals to the water which we can use drinking water. Do you understand, all of you? A large scale to remove salts from seawater as to obtain drinking water. So that plant which we can obtain the drinking water from the seawater is called as desalination plant. What is to call, everybody? Desalination plants. Understand? But millions of dollars, it is like crores of money is needed to maintain the desalination plants. Why, guys? Anybody can guess? Any guess? Let me see, at least minimum knowledge. Why we need crores of money to maintain the desalination plants? The major problem is salts. Salts is there means corrosion. Corrosion will take place, and also separation of salts from this one. Distillation is very, very cost effective, and coastal areas, because of humidity and all, more corrosion rate is very, very high. So it is very difficult to maintain the desalination technique. So that is why it is very, very cost effective. But many countries, the process of distillation is used to obtain drinking water from seawater, but that water is not directly consumable, because the water which is obtained from distillation is a pure water. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? So no required minerals is present in that. But later what we have to do? Distilled water, we have to add the required minerals. Understanding? Then it is distilled water turns into what water? Distilled water turns into what water? Drinking water. Understand? So pure distilled water nobody is supposed to consume. After adding the minerals, we can consume it. So preparation of drinking water from the seawater. What is that in industry name called as? What is the technique called as? What is that
Desalination.
called as? Desalination plant. What is to call? Desalination plant. For example, how many of you know Saudi country called as Bahrain? Do you all know Bahrain? Yes, Mitakshri? Have you heard about Bahrain? Nobody?
No, sir.
No, Bahrain country don't know. That's very bad. At least Saudi, Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia.
Sir.
Yeah. So you can take here. Now I will show you one of the image of a desalination plant, which is in Bahrain, which is obtaining because they are all Gulf countries, very less availability of water. For them, petrol and all more, but drinking water will be less. Now you can notice it very carefully. So this is what lab scale, how you people can set up a distillation technique. This is what in our lab, we used to do this one. So this is what distillation technique. A student carry out the process of distillation in the laboratory to separate salt water mixture. Now, have you seen the setup here? How he is working? All of you. So this is what we used to say condenser, water condenser. This is what water condenser. So or else Liebig condenser. And this is what we can say distillation flask. So that he has fixed everything arranged and he has been arranged. So this is how he will obtain the pure water here in this beaker from this condenser. Understand all of you? Now, this is the image you can see. The desalination technique in the Bahrain country, Bahrain. So desalination plant which produces large quantities of drinking water from seawater in Bahrain. Okay, even our Tamil Nadu border, your Chennai beach, Chennai area, that Marina Beach areas will be having around 2 or 3 desalination plants where we can obtain thousands of lakhs of liters of water every day by desalination technique only. So they will obtain the pure water. Later they will add minerals, required minerals for our body. Have you noticed it here? Corrosion, Hari? Corrosion is a major problem where we have to maintain crores of money to maintain these industries, desalination techniques. That is why it is very cost effective. So seawater is a mixture of salt and water in hot and arid countries. Hot and arid countries. What do you mean by hot and arid countries? Hot and arid countries having little or no rain. Then distillation technique is used on a large scale to remove salts from seawater to obtain what water? To obtain drinking water. So